say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you. You may now be seated.
Good morning, Morganton. I'm Kevin Baxter, Vice Chancellor and Chief Campus Officer for NCSSM Morganton. On behalf of the graduating class of 2025, I am so pleased to welcome you to the second commencement exercises for the Morganton campus. I am pleased to welcome and acknowledge the members of our platform party. Please hold your applause until all have been recognized. NCSSM Chancellor Todd Roberts, Commencement Speaker Rahul Sampath, MD, Chair of the NCSSM Board of Trustees Stephanie Bass, Class of 1991, Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Programs Katie O'Connor, Vice Chancellor for Student Life and Chief Campus Officer for NCSSM Durham, Terry Lynch, Dean of Humanities, Javier Pabon, Board of Trustee Member, Ray Spain, Division Administrators, Barb Corey, Jamie Lathan, Brock Winslow, Class of 1986, Jamie Butler, Jill Fagley, Departmental Deans, Beth Bumgardner, Amy Scheck, Taylor Gibson, Garrett Love. Alumni Association Board President Mary Roederer, Class of 1994. Parent Association Chair Jane Bullock, Class of 1989. Faculty Senate President Marcelo Aranda. Faculty Senate Chair Ormond Moore. Staff Senate Chair Crystal Woods. Registrar Jennifer Betts. Associate Registrar Jill Maston Byers. We are also joined by several additional board members seated on the lawn. Member of the NCSSM Foundation Board of Directors, David Bennett. NCSSM Parent Association Vice Chair for NCSSM Morganton, Anna Johnson. And NCSSM Parent Association Chair Emerita, Emily Martine, Class of 1988. Please join me in expressing our gratitude for their presence at today's commencement exercises. You all may be seated. Coretta Scott King once said, "The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members." I think we all know how special our community is. We are blessed to experience it day in and day out as we witness the brilliant impact of our students, employees, and partners across the institution. Nearly 7 months ago, our campus and this region suffered a devastating blow as Hurricane Helene arrived at our doorstep. As this historic storm plunged this region into darkness, our community, this community, responded with compassion and stood shoulder to shoulder with our neighbors throughout Western North Carolina. On the days following the storm, you catalyzed recovery efforts and redoubled your efforts to support our adopted hometown of Morganton. I remain in awe of the resilience and fortitude of this graduating class, and I am deeply proud to be part of this community. I would now like to recognize a few of our closest friends and supporters who have joined us today to celebrate our graduates. It's important to acknowledge that each of our students at NCSSM Morganton have been presented with this opportunity because of the tireless advocacy and limitless enthusiasm of an incredible cross-section of supporters throughout our state. We are especially honored to welcome a select few of our earliest adopters and most vocal champions for today's program, and I'm asking that they please rise to accept our gratitude when I call their names. We are joined today by two of our most engaged and fiercely loyal neighbors from the city of Morganton. While I am grateful to each for their support over the last decade, their efforts and those contributed by our entire city government team were nothing short of heroic in responding to the harrowing events of Hurricane Helene. We are exceptionally proud to call Morganton home and count these two leaders as close friends and partners. Please welcome Mayor Ronnie Thompson and City Manager Sally Sandy. I'm very excited that this morning's program will feature remarks from Dr. Rahul Sampath, a distinguished leader at UNC Health Blue Ridge and friend of NCSSM. Our institution is blessed to partner with our local healthcare system as they administer our health clinic, host mentorship and research experiences for our students, and back in 2019, committed the largest gift in the history of NCSSM Morganton and one of the largest in the history of our institution with a $5 million contribution. This relationship was catalyzed by the former chairman of the UNC Health Blue Ridge Board of Directors and a very close friend of NCSSM who is retiring this summer after more than 30 years of service to our hospital system. Please join me in welcoming UNC Health Blue Ridge Board member Mike Bridges. Thank you all for your friendship and support throughout the last decade. I'm now honored to introduce NCSSM's fourth Chief Executive, who has just completed his 15th year of service to our institution. Please join me in welcoming Chancellor Todd Roberts.
Thank you, Kevin, and good morning to all of the folks here today, our families and friends, faculty and staff, the juniors, and most importantly, the class of 2025. I also want to say hello to everyone watching via live stream. We're happy to be able to share this beautiful morning with you wherever you are. We are really happy to be here on such a gorgeous morning in a year that has been characterized by not the best weather that we've seen and the many impacts of that. Today, we are here on this gorgeous, gorgeous day with this built-in natural air conditioning we've got going on to keep us cool to celebrate the class of 2025. And you so much deserve a beautiful morning like you have today. So just really happy to see that. And before I continue, I'd like to just take a moment to thank some folks because putting on an event like this this morning is a big undertaking for a small team. And this, our facilities team, led by Chad Barrow, Dave Williams, and Kevin King, have done a masterful job making sure that we were all prepared to welcome all of you. I want to thank Dr. Nielsen for our music this morning, as well as our two senior vocalists that you'll hear for the national anthem and the Alma Mater, Caleb Harwell and Kristen Harrison for the tech support, and to all of the faculty and staff who have put in countless hours to make this day a special day for all of the folks here today. And also, I want to especially call out a few people who took the leadership to plan today's event. And those are Dr. Tanya Little, Suzanne Lambert, Lindsay Barrick, and Caroline Glover for everything they've done. So let's give all these folks a big hand for their work, please. There are probably not many places more beautiful to have as a backdrop for graduation than this right here. Can you believe I'm just looking around on a day like today and the mountains behind us and this beautiful lawn? So just such an exciting morning. And as Mr. Baxter said, I'd also like to thank Dr. Sampath for being with us today and for his leadership at UNC Health Blue Ridge, but also in particular for his leadership and efforts when Hurricane Helene hit, not only for the Morganton community, but for the larger Western North Carolina region. And so, Dr. Sampath, I just want to commend you for your caring and compassion during such a difficult time, and thank you for being our commencement speaker. Very much look forward to your remarks. So members of the class of 2025, graduating from high school is one of the bigger events in your life, and to this point, maybe one of the very biggest events that you've done. So we are just incredibly happy to celebrate you as you complete this part of your educational journey. And I'm assuming that most of you, when you started your high school careers, would have little imagined that you would have, 2 years ago, ended up here in Morganton, helping to start a school from scratch as the second class of NCSSM Morganton. It takes a lot of courage to leave home when you're 15 or 16 to go and start something new, right? You have been risk takers to this point, and I know that as you go forward, you will continue to do that. And what you've done when you came here is help to build a community that will last forever. And you've been foundational to that. So I want to congratulate you and say thank you to the thousands of dragons who are going to follow you out here on this lawn one day. You have done it very well in setting the pace and the tone for them as the future comes. And I also want to just take a moment to highlight just a little bit of what you've accomplished over your 2 years here. And that's whether on the field or pools or courts of competition, you've done amazing things. You've had 5 robotics teams qualify for World Championships, which is outstanding, and it's hard to believe an institution this size actually has 5 robotics teams, but you've done so incredibly well with that. You've had DECA and FBLA students qualify for nationals. You've created amazing art in concerts and on drama stages, in kilns, and murals on walls. I think we have our first mural on a wall here, so you guys will be able to come back and visit and see that in the years to come. You've done amazing research presenting on campus as a part of the Interdisciplinary Research Symposium, publishing in the Morganton Scientific, and research and presenting at research competitions all around the state and the country. And you've nearly doubled the number of clubs on campus over the past 2 years. So that's just a little snippet of what you've done, but you've created traditions that will last a lifetime. So thank you and congratulations for your amazing achievements and accomplishments. NCSS's motto is Maius Opus Moeo, which means I accept the greater challenge. So this motto is true for all students who choose to enroll in NCSSM, leaving home a couple years early to come to a rigorous academic environment where you'll be with students from all over North Carolina, not just your local community. And for all of you today, I think this motto rings more true than it does for maybe others all the time because of the fact that you came here to help create something and to start a legacy that will last forever. You, through your hard work and your flexibility, really have created a community where none existed before you. And so I think what you've learned here in doing that will pay dividends for the rest of your lives. And I also want to take a moment to really thank those parts of the community that you've built. As was mentioned earlier, the NCSSM Morganton community has always figured out how to make things work. Whether it was shifting classes around as buildings came online or didn't, or rising to the challenge of one of the worst natural disasters in our state's history, Hurricane Helene, which devastated western North Carolina. And many here today, both students and families and community members were severely impacted by Hurricane Helene. And North Carolina and western North Carolina is still recovering and will be for years. But as the NCSSM Morganton community has done all along, you planned, pivoted, made good decisions, did the very best you could for each other and the broader community as a community. Whether by creating a supply pantry that would rival a small grocery store, or the NCSSM community raising funds to support the needs of students and families, faculty and staff, and the larger NCSSM community, our community came together and figured it out in the worst of times. The tragedy of Helene sometimes seems as if it was far away with so much happening over the past 7 months. And again, it seems like it was much more recent as many still struggle to recover. So I hope that as a community, I would encourage us to continue to support those in need in our community and throughout western North Carolina, because there's still many years to come for recovery from Helene. As has been the case this year, as I just reflected on, what you've been able to do and accomplish to this point in your lives would not have been possible without the many people who have supported you along the way. Your friends, your teachers, classmates, and the amazing faculty and staff at NCSSM Morganton and across the institution. I mentioned earlier the wonderful community you've created here at NCSSM Morganton. And so I want to call out the importance that the amazing faculty and staff here play in creating that community. Much like you, they all came to this new place, unknown to them, but their flexibility and patience, just like all of you, they have created with a great sense of possibility the incredible opportunities that you have. And so I just want to take a moment to thank the teachers, the counselors, community coordinators, staff, administrators who have contributed in so many ways to your success these past 2 years. So let's give them a big round of applause. We are incredibly fortunate to have such an amazing and talented group of individuals who work here at NCSSM. And so, again, with their passion, dedication, and flexibility, they have been a big part of your success. I also want to take a moment to thank our families who are here today, because you have nurtured, supported, loved your children all along the way. And as a parent, I'm a parent of 4 children myself, who 3 are either in college or graduated to this point. And so I know what it means to be a parent of children of this age. And you have a lot of experience, some joyous, some challenging along the way, but you love your children all the same. And that is so important for us to all realize. And, so I really think that as they are leaving this part or this chapter of their lives, they're now 18, or most of them are probably 18 and quote-unquote officially adults. But you, as parents, they're still going to need you just as much as they've always needed you, maybe a little different, but they're going to still need you. And so I just want to take a moment, and particularly all of our students here, if you would please give a big round of applause and appreciation for your parents and your families. So lastly, I'd just like to leave our graduates with some great advice I heard last year at this time about the college experience. So in my career, I've had the opportunity to hear many, many commencement speakers. And last year, the speaker we had at the Durham ceremony was Dr. Adam Falk, who's an alumnus from the second class of NCSSM. He's a renowned physicist. He's the former president of Williams College, and now the head of the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation. So he knows a lot about college and going to college. And I thought what he stressed in his remarks was really important for you to consider as you head to college or the next part of your journey. Because to this point in your educational path, it's been pretty linear, right? You go from one grade to the next grade in a pretty linear fashion. And for the most part, what you've done along that way has all been with an eye toward where you are today, ready to graduate from high school and go off to college, the college of your choice. And so you have done that extremely well. And here you sit today. But in his advice, he stressed the importance of when you go to college, not just go with the purpose of going to grad school, getting the highest paying job you can find. He stated the point of going to college is not to look ahead to the next thing, but to go to college. If you're always looking ahead, he stated, you might miss the opportunities right in front of you to explore things, new things that might, in fact, lead you to what you actually should be and want to do. So I share this with you because Dr. Falk's comments at the ceremony last year really resonated with me. And I want to double down on his thoughts and encourage you over the next 4 years in college to not only pursue a degree in a field that will help launch your career, but one that will provide you with joy and satisfaction. Take courses outside your major that help you explore new ideas and have experiences that broaden your understanding of the world or simply allow you to grow as a person. Join some clubs, study abroad, find things that help you to find joy each day, each month, and each year on the rest of your journey. As I said to you on Welcome Day when you were first together as the new class of Dragons, the 152 strong from nearly half of North Carolina's counties, the NCSSM experience will be what you make of it as individuals and as a community. In the next 4 years of your journey, I hope that you will make the most of your experiences, and I hope that each of you will explore not only with an eye for what is ahead, but with a curiosity for the many things that are right in front of you. Just as it has been at NCSSM Morganton, the next 4 years and the rest of your lives will be exactly what you make of them. And I have no doubt, based on what I've seen over the past 2 years, that you will make the absolute most of your time ahead. And I am very much certain that you will also make the places you go better for you being there, just like you have here at NCSSM Morganton. So, again, congratulations to the class of 2025. I wish you the very, very best in the years to come. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Katie O'Connor for the introduction of our student speaker.
Greetings, students, faculty, staff, families, and friends of NCSSM. On behalf of academic programs, I bring congratulations to the class of 2025. Since we have no class rank or valedictorian, our student speaker at commencement is selected from speeches submitted by members of the class. A committee of faculty and staff reviewed all entries to determine which speech most uniquely captured the NCSSM experience. I am pleased to introduce the student speaker for the class of 2025. At NCSSM, she served in the role of Vice President for the FBLA Northwest Region and the Red Cross Club. She was co-president of the Asian Cultures Association and the Dance Club. Additionally, she participated in summer research in mathematics and was an external relations liaison, executive board officer in our Student Government Association, and a micro-language lesson coordinator. She had many adults who supported her journey as a dragon and wants to express appreciation to Trish Aiello, Sarah Booker, Jennifer Fisher, Tanya Little, Terry Engel-Krause, Jay Singley, and Brian Stutzman. In August, she will be attending the University of Pennsylvania to pursue a dual degree in the Huntsman Program in International Studies and Economics. Her parents and sister are proudly joining her today. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to your class of 2025 student speaker, Sharina Bhaskaran.
Meus opus movio, accept the greater challenge. This phrase isn't just a motto, it's the mindset that has defined our time at NCSSM. It shaped how we've grown, the choices we've made, and the impact we've had as students and as people. When we arrived here 2 years ago, we entered a vibrant, dynamic community filled with intelligent minds, supportive staff, and incredible opportunities. We left behind the familiar rhythms of our hometown schools, stepped into something new, something exciting, something we fully couldn't imagine, but something we believed in. And we did it not just as individuals seeking opportunity, but as a collective committed to building something together. Our upperclassmen welcomed us into a community full of tradition, spirit, and drive. They showed us what was possible, and then we took those ideas even further. We built on their foundation with fresh ideas, new perspectives, and our own sense of community. Whether it was continuing school traditions, planning karaoke nights, or introducing our own twist to school games. As a second graduating class, we've contributed to a legacy, one that grows with every year, every student, and every experience. We helped create a campus culture rooted in belonging, ambition, and a shared love for learning. We didn't walk into a fully furnished system. We helped to build it. We found ourselves in new buildings with fresh paint on the walls, and a future still being drafted. We were able to create the blueprints for student life here with every memory, event, and interaction we've had. We filled the silence with laughter, late-night conversations, and the occasional fire alarm after check. We shaped clubs, led initiatives, and built friendships across cities and counties. We pulled up dance shows and hackathons, quiz bowls and business competitions, and still found time to scream the lyrics to Party in the USA at every school dance. We navigated difficult problem sets, even more difficult group projects, and somehow the North Carolina weather. But we also navigated something much deeper. What it means to live in a community where excellence isn't just about grades or GPAs, but about curiosity and courage. These halls saw our first lessons on topics we didn't know existed before coming here. They witnessed our attempts, and sometimes failures, at solving problems. They were home to our brilliant ideas and breakdowns, our boldness and our vulnerabilities. We learned not just from textbooks and lectures, but from each other. There were times when the workload was intense, the deadlines came a bit too quickly, and the balance felt tricky. But every challenge became a chance to grow. We discovered strength that we didn't know we had, and we learned that asking for help is a sign of courage, not weakness. We also discovered the joy in the small things and the big ones, in club meetings full of energy and spontaneous celebrations, and in our interactions all over campus. These are the experiences that brought us closer and made NCSM feel like a second home. NCSM is more than just a school. It's a community of thinkers, creators, leaders, and dreamers. We are so proud to have been part of this journey as well. We've honored the traditions before us, shaped new ones, and helped pave the way for the classes to come. Each person here contributed a piece of themselves to NCSM, something unique to each of us. We aren't just the second class. We were the first to take what began as a foundation and build something distinct to NCSM Morganton. And yes, it wasn't always easy. Challenges messy, exhausting, and sometimes unfair. But Mea's Opus Movio doesn't just ask us to face these challenges. It asks us to accept them, to invite them, to rise because of them. So as we stand here on the edge of what comes next, college, careers, adventures unknown, we do so already knowing what it means to say yes to the greater challenge. We are not afraid of the so-called unattainable. We have already proven that we can leave a mark where there was no roadmap, and we've done it once, and we will do it again. Let's remember the joy in the chaos, the pride and the perseverance, and the strength we found in each other. Let's carry the boldness of NCSM into the world, not as a memory of who we were, but as a promise of who we're becoming. Congratulations, class of 2025. We accepted the greater challenge. Just remember, this is only the beginning, and the future is waiting for you to shape it. Next, I would like to introduce our Student Government Association President, Dane Humphrey, who will be introducing our commencement speaker.
Hello, class of 2025 Dragons. We all know why we're here. We persevered, we adapted, we've grown, and we accepted the greater challenge. We were fortunate to have been taught, mentored, and supported by the best administrators, faculty, and staff in the state. We could not be here without you, so the NCSSM class of 2025 says thank you. I want to introduce our guest speaker, a physician, by first letting his words speak for him through his patient reviews. February 27th, 2025, 5 stars. This doctor is one of the best I've ever seen, so knowledgeable, concerned, and confident. November 8th, 2024, also 5 stars. Amazing personal care, thorough, and knowledgeable. September 10th, 2024, again, 5 stars. Best experience. He's not only here because of his excellent skills as a doctor, but as a scholar as well. He graduated from the prestigious Kasturba Medical College in Bangalore, India, completed his residency at Baylor College of Medicine and a fellowship at the Mayo Clinic, and has authored over 25 peer-reviewed publications. He understands the competitiveness and the drive it takes to achieve. Through his service as Program Director of Internal Medicine Residency, Chair of Infectious Disease, and President of the Medical Staff of UNC Health Blue Ridge, he has demonstrated great experience and leadership and shown a deep commitment to healthcare in the Morganton community. As someone who has faced and conquered academic challenges himself, he deeply relates to the hardworking, high-achieving students at NCSSM. His story mirrors ours in dedication, resilience, and pursuit of excellence, and has helped NCSSM students by being directly involved in our mentorship and research programs. His value in humanity and in medicine were inspired by his multi-faith, service-oriented upbringing and his physician grandmother. His emphasis on empathy, connection, and service aligns with NCSSM's values of leadership, community, and integrity. It is my honor and my privilege to welcome Dr. Arul Sampath.
Wow. Thank you for that amazing introduction. What a moment of sonder. What amazing weather. I was actually missing the 30-mile-per-hour winds, some of the advantages of having a relatively permanent hairstyle, I would say. But really just thank you. Thank you, Chancellor Roberts. Thank you, Vice Chancellor Kevin Baxter. And NCSSM 2025, thank you guys for having me here and listening to me. This is an extraordinary honor. I said earlier that this may be one of the greatest honors I've ever had in my life, and I really did mean it. And the fact that I lost about 6 to 8 pounds of weight over the past month, stressing out about what to say, was an interesting perk. I like that. So I see so many amazing faces, amazing people, amazing grads out here, and I have spent some time wondering what to talk about. So during one of my speeches at the UNC Health internal medicine graduation, I made a rough calculation of approximately how many patients have I seen in my career, and it amounted to about 100,000. That's fairly average. And since I'm a talker, I usually land up talking about all sorts of things with my patients, and I land up with some really interesting stories. And I love stories. So I decided to share a little bit of my story, an imperfect, vulnerable soul who's basically just been driven by a deep need to understand my place in the world and to understand what I do and why I do it. So let me take you back to my graduation day from high school. It was a hot, muggy monsoon afternoon. I was standing among a crowd of about 50 people, craning my neck to a board where my final examination marks would be posted. So on the board, there were about 50,000 names, and next to each name a number, and then a pass or a fail. So when I finally went through the R's and the S's, I figured out where my name was. I had passed, and it was a decent score, but I was just elated. I remember walking out of school, getting on my cycle, my bike, hitching a ride on a red double-decker bus that would take me a mile uphill, after which I would pedal the way home. As I gripped that back of the bus, making sure that conductor didn't spot me, I caught my breath, smiled at myself, and thought of the hot chapatis and moong dal that were waiting for me at home. That was my graduation. There was no stage, no speeches, but my parents and my sister were with me at home, and that made it monumental. I was loved. I was privileged. And I think I was like many of you right here in front of me. So today is your momentous day, your celebration, your triumph. Your family, your friends, your teachers, and the broader community that have carried you here are all present here to honor you and for what you've done and to bless you for what you're about to do in your life. I realize that my story is just a formality, but let me weave it in to your day for a bit. Back then, my search for meaning began with my search for my identity. I needed to leave my home and be independent to some extent, and I needed some sort of a roadmap. For the first time in my life, I had to choose what path to take and understand what factors to consider in that choice. I needed to know thyself. And so in the spirit of that dignified hookah-smoking wonderland caterpillar perched upon his mushroom and asking Alice, "Who are you?" I now ask you the very same questions. And I know you guys are brilliant. You guys are very, very smart. So some of you may approach this question from a very scientific standpoint, a biological standpoint, and say, I'm just a programmed set of cells programmed to proliferate in a particular way, and you'll expound on mitosis and meiosis. Some of you quantum physics fans may correct me and say, I'm just a combination of matter and energy, or maybe just energy, some vibrating field of quantum randomness, somewhere existing in some dimension, caught between a little quark and a massive black hole. But on a relational level, who are you? Do you identify yourself as being a daughter, a son, a sibling, a believer in a God, a citizen of a nation, a friend? And in all these different roles that you identify with, can you be all these things at the same time? Is your identity fixed? Or is it evolving? Is it built around a constant, an anchor, a truth that doesn't shift no matter how wildly the world around you changes? These are questions I still ask myself, and at one point in high school, and possibly a little beyond that, I was convinced that I was just acting all these roles in some grand play or drama that I had no part in controlling or directing. At that time, 20 years ago, I had to make something of myself. My dad was not the type of guy who would let his kids sit around at home for too long, and I love my dad, and I'm sure all of y'all love your dads. But when the conversation topic around dinner consistently centers around, so what do you plan to do next month? Or what are you going to do next? You know that it's time to make plans, make a path, and move forward. What gave me direction at that time was the worldview I adopted. My chosen set of values and a moral code, a path with a heart was what I was going to choose. One that helped me shape my evolving identity in the direction of my choosing. My worldview became the lens through which I saw the world and recognized its truths. But then again, what is truth? And I think this is a very important question that we all should ask ourselves, especially in this day and age. Is all truth just a collection of concurrent facts? Then what about contrary facts? Is it subjective? Does all truth shift a little with perception? Or is there an objective, unchanging truth? It would be very nice to have an objective, unchanging truth, because then we could share recognition of it, and that can anchor trust. And I think trust is fundamental to human relatedness. And that brings us to humanity. By this time, I was deeply entrenched in one of the busiest hospitals in South India. My days were long and filled with intense, continuous interactions caring for the sick. This is the path that I chose, and that made all the difference. I distinctly recall one night when I was a resident on call in the hospital, holding an ambu bag, pumping life-giving air into a patient's lungs while waiting for a ventilator to become available. She was a wizened old grandmom. Deep lines etched the corners of her eyes. And I remember thinking to myself at that time, when I grow up, if I had those lines, it would probably mean that I smiled a lot in my life. At some point, she indicated that she wanted me to stop pumping that life-giving air into her lungs. But I couldn't, and I didn't. I sat there pumping air for about 3 hours until she passed. It was the first time I shed a tear in the hospital. I've lost many patients after that, but my eyes are drier now. But I feel like somewhere deep down inside, I still have all their stories. In my patients' stories, in their pain, their joy, their resilience, I could feel what it meant to be human. My own search for truth, my carefully constructed worldview, my evolving identity, all of it felt so small compared to the endless living tapestry of human existence. To live on this fragile blue dot, floating in an infinite space, to realize that in the end, we are really all we have in this world. And that our identity differences, in the grand scheme of things, fade into insignificance. Fast forward to 2024, here in our community, we experienced tragedy with Harkin Helene. I recall a young boy admitted to UNC Hospital whose house, family, and neighborhood had been washed away in a landslide. He was fighting for his life in the hospital, suffering severe trauma. But he wanted to just get out of the hospital. Why? Because he wanted to find them. He could not imagine a life without his family. Can you imagine how he felt? In Morganton, church halls were transformed into warm shelters. High schools served hot meals and water. Neighbors knocked on doors to hand-deliver blankets and flashlights. The fire department went house to house, checking on the elderly residents. The UNC healthcare workers, nurses, and doctors cared round the clock for the injured. Local businesses donated medical supplies and charged phones for those without power. And this is just a small fraction of all the community outreach work that you all did. These days, I wonder, what is it that moves a community to help, that brings a community together? What is it that allows us to feel the pain of others? I don't worry too much about meaning. I follow a path with a heart. I let myself be vulnerable and feel. I believe that is what makes us uniquely human. Our ability to show compassion, generosity, and love. All of these things grow much stronger the more we share them. I will end this conjecture and share something a little more concrete. In your search for identity, worldview, truth, and humanity, don't forget your amazing community, your amazing school, and these amazing mountains around you. Don't wait to love. And when you do love, fall deeply in love with that person. That journey is an incredible journey. Of all the titles I've ever held, Dad is by far the greatest. And the only sobriquet I cherish permanently is Honey Bunny, a name lovingly bestowed upon me by my wife. I see we have some honey bunnies here. Don't numb yourself to suffering just because it's distant. Feel it. That feeling will transform into real change in this world. Don't wait to live. Life is happening right now. When we are close to the end of life, regret rarely lies in the things that we did. It usually lies in the things that we never got the chance to do. And lastly, consider this quote from William Blake. If you ever need inspiration, to see a world in a wildflower, to see a heaven in a wildflower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. Congratulations, class of 2025, and thank you for hearing my story.
In appreciation for Dr. Sampath's speech, we wanted to present him with a gift, and this beautiful piece of artwork was created by NCS's Morganton art teacher Courtney Young, and so thank you, Courtney, for that, and thank you, Dr. Sampath, for your remarks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chancellor Roberts. Welcome, Dragons, fellow trustees, families, friends, faculty, and staff. I promised to be short with my comments, but when Chancellor Roberts gave me the chance to say a couple words, how could I say no? So first to the graduates, welcome to the club. The club of which I'm speaking is that of NCSSM Alumni. And unlike some of the clubs here on campus, like the Swifty Society or the Hour of Yarn, we don't have a catchy name. So maybe one of you could work on that. With the graduations this week, our total alumni population will exceed 15,000. Alumni positively impacting our state, our nation, and the world. We are scientists, researchers, doctors, lawyers, engineers, entrepreneurs, educators, and executives. And we all have this shared experience of NCSSM. It does not matter if you graduated in the 80s and 90s like I did with the dinosaurs, or you're graduating today. This experience, this place, is our common denominator. As you leave from here and follow your dreams, I promise you will cross paths with many alumni. And when you do, you will feel a connection, a commonality, and many times joy. as that connection will remind you of this place and all that it has meant to you. I have crossed paths with alumni all the way from a subway station in Rome to a cruise ship in Tahiti and many places in between. Each time, the conversation includes questions such as, do you remember, name that teacher? Or what did you do for J-term? Back in my day, it was a week, and it was called Special Projects Week. So we got SPW. You get a much better deal than we did. Or where did you do your work study? Did you work in the cafeteria or on the grounds? What did you do at the school? All this forms a Venn diagram of shared experiences. One of the great joys of my life is meeting other alumni and making those connections. And I hope it is for you as well. We have alumni who are Tony Award-winning Broadway producers, Grammy Award-winning singers, and one even planning a trip to the moon, which is awesome and amazing. But just as awesome and amazing is that we are scientists solving the mysteries of disease, technologists blazing the way into the next frontier, and teachers nurturing the next generation. Today, our graduates earn STEM degrees at over 3 times the national average, and over 30% of NCSSM alumni have taught or plan to teach in STEM fields. We are leaders in philanthropy, serving on boards and volunteering in organizations, working to make our communities better places. In a 2020 study, 68% of alumni reported that they have served on leadership roles in their communities. We are making a difference. This difference is exactly what our founders, North Carolina Governor Jim Hunt Jr., Senator and Duke University President Terry Sanford, and academician and author John L. envisioned. An institution that would invest in the state's human and intellectual capital to build leadership and fuel economic progress. Our founders looked into the future and saw that in order for North Carolina to thrive, we would need leaders in math, science, technology, and engineering. And what better way to find those leaders than to nurture our own North Carolinians, encouraging them to go to school here, teach here, start businesses here, to become a part of the fabric of our state. And it has worked. The majority of NCSSM alumni remain in-state for college, and even those that leave for college, many return later in their careers or for retirement. Yes, we have alumni old enough to retire. Personally, I left North Carolina to attend Northeastern University for college, choosing to return to this great state for my career. Today, more than half of NCSSM's alumni live, play, and pay taxes in North Carolina. When you take into consideration the estimated personal income of alumni in North Carolina, it accounts to over $653 million as of 2020. If you apply a multiplier to that number, our impact to the state economic activity is over $1.3 billion. We are making a difference. So in closing, congratulations again to all of our graduates, wishing you much success in whatever endeavors your future may hold, and welcome to the club. If you think of a catchy name, please see Chancellor Roberts. Go Dragons.
So, Chair Bass, I present to you the class of 2025. Awarding their diplomas signifies that they've completed all the requirements for graduation as set forth by the NCSSM Board of Trustees. Will the graduating class please rise?
Chancellor Roberts, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and this school, which serves the people of North Carolina, I accept your recommendation and authorize the presentation of these diplomas.
Thank you, and so you can now be seated. And as we would like to appropriately and respectfully honor all of our extraordinary graduates this morning as they accept their diplomas, I would ask you that if you would, please hold any super loud applause, any crazy displays of support, or any things like that until we've awarded our last diploma, because we really want every family here and everyone else to be able to hear the names of all of our graduates as they're called. So at this time, we are very happy to begin that process, the awarding of diplomas.
Ayana Ray Aaron. James Boone Allred. Crochet Reddy Anadi. Annabelle Bellamy. Kimber Rain Balance. Joshua Alexander Banchik. Scarlett Jane Barlow. Andrew Jacob Barnes. Shirina Baskaran. Anish Batineni. Michaela Ferguson Bellis. Jacob Alexander Binder. Alisa Catherine Breer. Willa Mayfra Briggs. Emily Grace Brissenden. Robert Andrew Birdsell. Noah Ryan Butler. Alexander Ryan Cady. Hannah Chapman. Anil Prasad Chintapalli. Kaylee Jade Coppersmith. Charlotte Crawford. Trisha Deepak. Craig Logan Dellinger. Eric Michael Dooley. Evelyn Nancy Doyle. Samriti Dubé. Coleman Miller East. Morgan Claire Sumayina Emahel. Justin Michael English. Samuel Robinson Evans. Brooke Elizabeth Evanson. Mimi Lee Everett. Owen Bruce Farley. Elizabeth Player Fleury. Carlos Flores Zavala. Reagan Council Fowler. Paul Robert Gamiel. Nia Tracy Garner. Armand Guerra. Ariane Guerra. Lauren Elizabeth Gibson. Garner Samuel Hunsucker Gooch. Vivek Gutumakala. Jelisaveta Jamesovna Green. Jordan Amara Green. Violet Chiefs Grossman. Ava Elizabeth Gruber. Sienna Lucine Hagshaw. Ryan Patrick Hallihan. Stella Marisa Hariyono. Solomon Caleb Harrison. Sarah Lynn Hedgecock. Ava Elizabeth Hyatt. Tatum Everly Hobbs. Dane Humphrey. Zoe Mae James. Lily Alexandra Jantes Moya. Miles Delaney Jessup. Grayson Lee Johnson. Caitlin Mackenzie Jordan. Rishik Kandru. Olivia Blair Kaiserman. Varenya Sayredi Kara. Sarah Elizabeth Kitchell. Kushala Koda. Lily Grace Cramp. Prerna Kuya. Eva Lucien Lachapelle. Jake Houston Eduardos Lara. Lyra Clayton Lee. Megan Elizabeth Leonard. Will Lavin. Eric Lee. Lexi Yushua Lee. Sabrina Liu. Michael Liam Laurie. Jack Bennett Lyons. Sonal Mahapatra. Nikita Mandalika. Arnav Manyar. Savannah Grace McDonald. Luke Patrick McManaman. Joe Anthony Merlick. Zuzana Alicia Mikholaevich. Julian Reza Monsabifar. Danvi Mova. Mania Barenya Nalagangu. Nathan J. Oliver. Ayla Catherine Horta. Kira Lauren Osei-Boateng. John Owens. Adi Sanjeev Patel. Soham Patki. Christopher Lorenzo Pedro. Caitlin Ford Pittman. Sophia Louise Cavalar Pongi. Anirudh Prakash. Arjun Krishna Rao. Alina Soleil Rector. Logan Bennett Rich.
Let's go!
Stuart Davis Riss. Ian Nathaniel Richards. James Mason Waters Ross. Willa Jane Rupp. Peter Ashley Ryden. Wenimar Wen Salvador. Fernando Mario Sanchez. Marvin Quiroz Santiago. Adrija Sarkar. Diva Krunal Shah. Disha Sharma. Zoe Elizabeth Shuda. Claire Britton Slusser. Ariel Hoyen Smith. Pranav Shenchu Somalaraju. Paige Rebecca Sunzoni. Ananya Sriran. Noah Hill Stiggins. William James Stockham. Colette Idalia Stokas. Samuel Jacob Strimple. Srihas Surapaneni. Sophia Shingwe Tang. Savid Sai Tata. Shuford Brian Tate. Broderick Richard Taylor. Leila Urmanova. Naina Baljurapalli. Srihan Bemuru. Anandamaya Verling. Gabriel Storm Vickers. Jair Jared Villarrodiles. Zachary Ryan Tien On Won. Duffy Adele Tucker Ward. Jacob Lyndon Wagent. Catherine Talaina Wickens. Ray Ridvik Reddy Yandavali. J. Krishna Yala. Andrew Yang Yang Ye. Yasmin Yuju Yang. Lauren Liu. Yu. Larry Zhao. Stephen Chiao Zhu. Rihanna Rehan Zhu.
Thank you, Dr. Pavone, for the names. And if everyone would please stand, if you're able, and join us in the singing of the NCSSM Alma Mater, which we'll find in the back of your program and which will be led by Duffy Wood.
Good morning. Please join me in singing the NCSSM's Alma Mater.
Well, you guys have officially received your diplomas, and you've done an amazing job of keeping those mortarboards on with the wind, so hats off. Now it really is time for turning your tassels in. Hats off if you want to. Congratulations. Once you track down your mortarboard, if you could have a seat for one more moment.
That is a sure enough adventure tossing those today. That is no doubt about that, for sure. Just in closing, I just want to again take a moment to thank all of our families who are here and our faculty and staff for everything you've done for the class of 2025. And as was said earlier, you've now joined the 15,000 or more alumni at NCSSM. And so I hope that in the years to come, you will remember your opportunity here. And like those 15,000 alumni before you, want to give back to make sure that future Dragons have at least as many and good opportunities as you have. So again, thank you for literally taking the opportunity to help build this community, which is such an amazing, amazing community. And I hope that wherever you go in the years ahead, that you will remember your 2 years here. And don't be strangers. We'd love to see you back. We saw some of the graduating class here on campus yesterday. So NCSSM Morganton will always be your home, and we hope that you'll always be a part of the community and cherish the experience you've had here. So again, congratulations to all of the class of 2025, and go Dragons. So if everyone would please stand to honor our new graduates from the class of 2025. They're going to recess to the tent area back there where we have a reception afterwards. So if you would please remain standing at your seats until the faculty have recessed after the graduates and the platform party. And then once that's happened, if you would please join us back at the tent back there for a reception. And again, congratulations to everyone. Thank you very much.